And we are live. Yes, we are. Please ignore the goals to your left. In fact, I'm going to momentarily hide those because they are from last month. I need to update them. So, hello everybody. Can you guys see me and hear me? Can you guys see the screen? Can you guys see the chat above my head? Looking good on my end. Hopefully, it looks good on yours. So, I'm a little late. Thought I was going to have some commitments tonight, but as it turns out, I don't. So we can go ahead and swing right into things. Let me go ahead and put the announcement on the Discord. So, we got a pretty crappy Sunday night football game. Vikings can't even put up a fight because they don't have Kirk Cousins. Green Bay starting to run a train on them, but you know what didn't suck today were the Seattle Seahawks. They played a pretty good all-around game. Not a whole lot to complain about. The things that can be complained about are mostly the things that happen over the course of a 60-minute game no matter who's playing. So, 51-29, and I don't think that really captures the dominance. Detroit scored a lot of their points after the game was already decided. Of course, so did we. But I felt like this game was over when it was 31-7, and then Detroit scored some points to make it look a little more interesting, but I was never afraid we were going to lose that game. Offense, I mean, they put up 50 points, and they earned most of those points. Not all of them. Some of them were set up by the defense, but the offense, they completely controlled the game on the ground. They avoided turnovers. Passing game was efficient. Offensive line played good. So I'm happy about all that stuff. Only thing on offense that caught my attention in a negative manner would probably be the fact that Phil Haynes looked so damn good that it makes you wonder why he wasn't out there earlier this year when Damian Lewis missed time. So that's discouraging to me, but there's also a positive baked into that, in that Haynes looked really good. And unfortunately, the problem with Phil Haynes is that we know he's very injury prone, so we can't really depend on him going forward, but he can play. He's kind of like your Rashad Penny. You keep him around. Carhan gave up a sack, but otherwise I thought he looked fine. And the sack he gave up was just a little 4-yard sack, not a huge deal. I can live with that. Yes, absolutely, David. Almost all of his stuff has come on the right side. It's all about Curhan. Defensively, we got a little bit of QB pressure, but it still wasn't great. However, we actually forced some turnovers. Shout out DJ Reed for picking off a couple passes. I know he got beat up a little bit in coverage, and so did Ugo Amadi, by the way. And Ugo also didn't play his best game, but he got a pick as well. Run defense was pretty solid. And a lot of what Detroit scored was after the game was already mostly decided, so I can live with that. Special teams was okay. Myers had a good game, but Dixon's one punt wasn't very good. And we had the onside kick problem. Frankly, we almost had 2 onside kick problems. And that's about it for the general summary of the game. We're going to get into the down and dirty here. We got about 40 people in here right now. I don't think we're going to get a huge turnout tonight because the season's over. A lot of people have checked out, and that's understandable. So we're going to go ahead and get underway here. So to the 40 people in here, I'll go over the rules. I plan to stream until the end of the Sunday night football game, plus maybe like 15 minutes. I will answer as many questions as I can. But I won't be able to answer all of them because I'm going to get a lot, probably. If you have a comment you really want me to see and address and respond to, you have to send it in as a super chat. And member comments are slightly more likely to be seen than non-member comments because they're visually better displayed for me on my screen. Please like the stream as well, by the way. Appreciate that. And yeah, with that being said, let's get underway here. Yeah, I'm still on the trade Russ wagon, of course. If you think anything that happened out there today made me change my view against the Lions when the season's over, you don't know me. Do you really think that what he does against the Lions when the season's already toast is going to matter one iota? It doesn't. How do you think Mike Jackson played? I didn't notice him too much out there, and a lot of his stuff came in garbage time. Like, I'm not going to judge either way. Um, Cody Barton impressed me, honestly. That was the best game I've ever seen Cody Barton play. And that doesn't say a whole heck of a lot, but Cody Barton actually played aggressively today. Do you think we're going to beat the Cards? Probably not. I like I liked what Cody did today. If he's going to play like that going forward, then he can be part of this team moving forward. He played aggressively, used his speed, something I've never really seen him do since maybe his rookie year, and even then that's thin. Thoughts on potential centers for next year? Oh, they're definitely candidates. You can get the guy from the Rams, who's a free agent. You can get the Buccaneers guy, Jensen, free agent. Herman the Great, thank you for the member message. Thank you so much for your awesome insights on our Hawks. I try Herman the Great. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's another good point, Daniel. Daniel is correct. If we do not trade Wilson, we are also marrying ourselves to extending him for a ridiculous price. Yeah, Ben Jones, but he's older, so you're kind of playing with fire there. Austin Corbett, to me, is good, and he's younger. I see. Don't make me be a mod. Yeah, Will. He's just he didn't develop the way I was hoping. I liked Ugo coming out of 2020, but this year I don't see much. Yeah, David. The thing was they could have been kneeing the clock out before Eskridge's end around. They could have kneed the clock out before Eskridge's end around, but they ran a play. So if you're going to run that play, why not keep running plays? Why not knee before then? Like that was weird to me. Herman the Great, thank you for the 4.99. What if anything does today's win do for our long-term future? Well, the only things I can think of off the top of my head would be Curhan looks like he's settled in as the future right tackle now. Like we can't get away from it now because he looked good again. Phil Haynes looked good enough to where he might be in the mix, which I would not have said before today. And Cody Barton looked good. If they can build on those performances today, then those guys can be part of the future plans. That to me is the main change to the long-term future of this team. Will he definitely needs to move off left guard because he doesn't look good there at all. But I would prefer to move him back to right guard, but that may not be an option. So moving him back to center is not a terrible idea. Yeah, Hydro, but he's going to be really expensive. I don't know if we can afford him. We have money. We might not have that much money. Oh my god, this game can't even pretend to get interesting. Why can't Kirk Cousins be playing? Why? But other than that, Herman the Great, like Penny was already probably going to be part of this team going forward, regardless. Yeah, Herman, that seems to be the way they're going. Herman. It seems like Pete is going to stay and Russ is going to go, which I don't agree with it, but Russ did it to himself. If Russ had been playing really good football over the last year and a half, there would be no controversy whatsoever. At the end of the day, Russell Wilson's play over the last year and a half has paved the way for him to be the guy that gets blamed for the team not having success. It should have been Carroll, but this last year and a half by Russ has just been not very good. Yeah, if Mond is available to play, he should be playing, but I don't think he is. Are there any defensive ends that you want to sign in free agency? I don't want Randy Gregory that much. I'd rather honestly get like Clowney, and I know that sounds weird, but I think I would. Of course not, Ghost. Come on now. You know better. I mean, Patrick, they're probably looking at the bottom line. They're looking at this team this year and they're saying, we have a really good defense and a really bad offense. So you know what? It's not Pete's fault, it's Russ's fault. That's probably how they're looking at it. I hate it, but it's not like they made it up. If Russ goes, who do you see replacing him? I think we're going to just have a stopgap for a year and then in 2023 find the next QB. Depends on who we like. Oh, Wagner is worth nothing. Wagner is going to get cut, I think. Wagner is. Nobody's going to trade for Wagner, I don't think. But Wilson, you can get like three first rounders for something like that. Now, Will Jensen, I would say somebody like. I really want to bring back Gerald Everett. Can I say that? Because that's a re signing, but he is a free agent. Maybe Marlon Mack. No, Amari. I'm not really into tanking, especially not for an Alabama quarterback. Do you extend Reed? It depends on how much money it's going to be, Ghost. I don't know what the price tag will be there. Not really, Austin. I don't know why you think that. Do you feel like Russ will demand a trade? Probably not, but maybe that'll happen behind the scenes. Do you see Pete, John, and Russ all leaving? It's possible, Herman, but it doesn't seem like that's the direction we're moving right now. Yeah, Kronos, it's possible. He has a lot of mileage on him. Uh, it sucks that he had to go out like that, but that might be it. Dacing doesn't make up for anything, but it was cool to see. DK is clearly playing injured, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed, but on some plays, I was like, he looks worn out, man. He looks worn out. I think the injury is really bugging him. Yeah, Austin, I did. I thought I was going to have to do something, but as it turns out, I don't. Yeah, everything's cool. Yeah, DK's not well. Yeah, exactly, Michael. Speculating on a player's future is hard, but I do know that whoever is in charge cannot possibly think it's a good idea to pay 20 million to Wagner. Do you think Lincoln Riley wants to be a college coach forever? I kind of do. It seems like he's scared of like a challenge. Although I will say this, Michael, it is starting to look like Pete and John will both come back. Not that we can know for sure, but we can guess. Yeah, Phil Haynes played great. Phil Haynes played an awesome game. Nothing negative to say about him. The only negative is that we should have been playing him weeks ago, months ago, years ago. Honestly, based off what I saw him doing today, I almost kind of feel like we didn't even need to trade for Gabe Jackson. Now, the problem, of course, being that Phil Haynes is very injury prone. However, based off his pure ability that he showed today, I'm like, this guy belongs. Yes, Addison. Yeah, David. Shell is the past and Kurhan is the future. And I know Kurhan gave up a sack. Well, Russell Wilson, Haynes was not bad against the Packers. Haynes was good. Haynes was good against the Packers. Like, yeah, he wasn't a great run blocker, but he was a great pass blocker. Fuller's not good at anything. Is it possible that everyone comes back and they trade DK? I guess it's possible, but I doubt it. Especially if you bring back Pete. Pete loves Metcalf, I think. I think Pete is a huge Metcalf guy. Pete will never part ways with Metcalf, I don't think. Young 11 at this point, I would probably just keep playing Penny. I mean, we're still kind of in evaluation mode on Penny, I guess. What are my thoughts on the AB situation? I don't care. It's funny. He's an idiot. Of course, the Bucks sound like they're kind of scumbags here too, but something wrong with that dude. Do you think Gabe Jackson leaving? Not right now, no. The money doesn't make it make a whole lot of sense. Well, I mean, there are a lot of reasons for that, Addison. There are a lot of reasons for that. His QB play was a lot worse. New offense. There are some things going on there. Hopefully, our W3 undercover. Yeah, I gotta believe AB's gonna retire. He's made his money. He's got a ring. What's he got to complain about? Yeah, I still believe in DK. Still not that interested in moving him, but it's not impossible. Thoughts on Eskridge? I mean, he's got talent. It's just gonna. This is kind of a lost season for him. I'm interested to see what happens next year at this point. You like CJ Stroud? Maybe Amari Taylor. I need to see more. Yeah, Swain, like, look, everybody likes to freak out about how good Freddie Swain is, but the reality is that dude is the definition of a jag. Like, everyone needs to cool off. All he does is beat blown coverages. Yeah, Sam Adams, I wouldn't trade DK. Some people talk about it. I don't think it's the worst idea ever, but I don't like it. Swain is definitely not a good number three, Addison. He might be a passable number four. That's about it. That's where it looks like it's going right now, Austin. Yeah. Hey, Eric. Yeah. I would rather trade Wilson than Metcalf. Wilson's past his prime. Metcalf is not in his prime yet. There's no doubt in my mind how good Metcalf is. At this point, I don't know about Wilson right now. Like, some days he's up, some days he's down. I'm not sure, pretentious Cameron. 1 second, guys. Like, Julian, I think the decision has already been made one way or the other. I don't think these meaningless games at the end of the year are going to change anything. I don't think nobody's going to give Penny a lot of money, but he's going to get some money, a little bit. Do you think Carroll stays? Right now, that looks to be the direction we're going. Yeah, that looks like it to me from here. But things can change. Things change very quickly sometimes. The thing that kind of sucks is that if we trade Wilson and keep Carroll, Carroll's probably got like 2 or 3 free years where he can do anything and not get fired because it'll be a rebuild and people will give him time. So, like, if we're terrible next year, he still keeps his job. If we're terrible the next year, he still keeps his job. It would probably take for us to be in like 2024 with no results for us to actually get him fired. Diggs actually didn't play a very good game today. No disrespect to him. He's obviously a good player, but Diggs did not play good. I don't think. Carolina's no interest in a rebuild, though. Well, if he trades Wilson, we're gonna have to, right? Like what? We're gonna trade Wilson, cut Wagner, and immediately just roll right into a competing team. That might literally be impossible. Yeah, no, gosh, I didn't like that either. Although credit to Brooks, man, he's really doing his job well, even at that position for the most part. I can't be too mad about it. Carroll is very loyal to Russ. I don't. What makes you think that? Carroll throws him under the bus in press conferences all the time. And remember, Carroll did not want to draft Wilson. John had to convince him to draft him. Carroll did not like Wilson that much. So it would not surprise me at all if Pete wants him out for many reasons. Yeah, Koopas, at this point, let's keep Penny. It's not going to be expensive. Yeah, John Schneider was the guy who loved Wilson. Carroll, I don't think, thought much of him. If we re-sign Dwayne Brown, Michael, I'm gonna set myself on fire on stream like those Buddhist monks in Vietnam or whatever. Dwayne Brown is trash. Oh yeah, we need to build our running back depth for sure. Absolutely. We have some cap space, Seahawks. Not a lot, but decent amount. Yeah, but we're not going to get to see Stone, Newgash. We. I don't know. You're right, Addison. Yeah, that's possible too, David. He could just roll on out of here like he did at USC. That's possible. He's done it before. Well, Sam, we've never done that. So what makes you think we're going to do it this offseason? Touchdown Vikings! The comeback is on, kids. A ghost, you know the answer to that. You know why. Yeah, Sam, we know. We have the richest owner in football. If anybody in the universe can afford to give somebody a bunch of money to not do anything for them, it's Jody Allen. Yeah, actually, I was impressed with Barton. Like that. Look, there. I don't. I'm not happy that Bobby Wagner went out like that in his last ever game at home, probably. But Barton looked good, and we would not have been able to see that if Wagner did not go out. Well, there's a good chance the decision has been made for us. If Wagner tore his Achilles, which some people are theorizing, then the decision is trivial. We can't bring him back if he tore his Achilles because he won't be ready for the start of the year next year. I think Penny's going to stay. Nobody's going to give him money. What Penny? Those kinds of running backs never get paid. Even Carson couldn't get paid. Well, yeah, Will, but we got some pressure. It's not like, and we got some turnovers. So whatever. Yeah, I agree with that, Michael. It should have been Brooks at middle linebacker, but to their credit, both guys played good. If Bobby indeed has a sprained knee as reported multiple weekends, okay. So that's kind of sucks that he has to go out like that, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Seahawks, are you like a Pokemon or something? Why do you keep saying Seahawks at the end of every post? It's like you're like a Pikachu or something. Yeah, Michael Jackson played a little bit. I didn't notice anything positive or negative with him. Seemed to be fine. Okay, cool, Emmett. Jackson had a couple PDs. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, Rasheem Green, I'll bring back Rasheem Green on the vet minimum. Like, there's a price. That's the thing. Like, some people ask me questions sometimes, like, would you sign this guy? Would you sign that guy? And I'm always like, how much? It's not enough to just ask, would you sign this guy? You also need to attach a price tag to it. Ken Norton's job safe? I think so. In Pete Carroll's mind, Norton's done a good job this year, and frankly, he does have a leg to stand on. I really don't like some of the stuff he's doing, but the results are not terrible by any stretch. There are Seahawks fans on Twitter who think Ken Norton's a genius, by the way, and they're people who know how to back their positions up. Biggest need for the Seahawks this offseason? Probably left tackle. I don't believe in Forsyth. Dwayne Brown needs to retire. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you, Alonzo Coolmer. A solid number one corner. Um, I'm pretty happy with our corner situation, especially if Carroll stays. Like Carroll is the guy who can turn, who can make magic happen with lackluster corners. So you got to trust him to do that, I think. Well, we would have to pretentious Cameron if we're actually going to run it back, which seems at least feasible. You got to do something different. Yeah, West Coast Aviator, that was cool. By the way, we got 153 people in here right now. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. You can become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month to gain access to perks, and any super chats will show up in the tip jar to my left and help keep the channel going. Missing Yay, I don't think anybody is seriously saying Antonio Brown anymore. Like, it made sense to say it last year and the year before, maybe, but not now. Shalvin, I think so. I think it might even be a little bit more than that. I don't know about Pickett, Kaiden. I don't know if I believe in Pickett. Yeah, Jeff Lowe. Would he be willing to come back as a running back coach for a team that he only played one game for? Wouldn't he want to go to like the Vikings or something, a team that he actually has history with? Or would he actually just go to a team like the Seahawks to be a running back coach? I don't know. Singletary was never a coach of the Bears. How much do you think DJ Reed will go for this offseason? Probably like $8 million a year. Yeah, Jeff Lowe, maybe. Honestly, I think the most of what's happening to Penny is just opportunity. Good opportunity. He's finally got some run blockers in front of him, and he's finally able to play without falling down and grabbing his ankles. It's not impossible, pretentious Cameron. Look, I'll say this. I like. I want to trade Wilson, but I'm not going to give him away. If somebody doesn't come in with a monster offer to get Wilson, then I don't want to trade him. I want to bring him back next year. This is not a situation where I think Wilson is so toxic I'm willing to give him away. I think center is a bigger need than left tackle. Well, left tackle is more important than center is the thing. And we literally don't have a left tackle. Like right now, going into 2022, our only left tackle on the roster is Stone Forsythe. Now, granted, that's also kind of the same at center, but left tackle is probably more important. Charisma, if we're going to fire any coaches, it'll happen in the first 3 days after the season ends, right? Who's your number one pick for left tackle? Probably Armstead, but I would also take George Fant, or even maybe the guy who caught a touchdown against us today in Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker is a guy who's going to be on the way out because of a penile implant in Detroit. I know, Ghost, but there are going to be a few cuts that make that list a little bit more impressive. Don't worry. Some players are going to get cut. Yeah, you need to do the rough equivalent of 3 first-round picks for Wilson. If Stafford's worth 2, then Wilson needs to be worth 3. Yeah, maybe Go Hawks 2022. Dre Holt, I don't know. There's no way for us to know. I don't think he would request a trade. Most people don't do that kind of stuff. Yeah, David, I love being aggressive, but that was insane. That was I can't believe the Bengals almost blew that. Yeah, I saw that, Addison. Yeah, Ghost, there should be. Pretentious Cameron, I don't know. Um, maybe Daryl Taylor? I don't know. That's the only guy I can think of. Yeah, Lockett's not going anywhere. And that's fine. He's still really good, but it kind of sucks. No, Ghost. The Bears don't have a first round pick this year. Their cupboard is bare. I don't want that. Tygo, we can't. Too much money. It costs more money to get rid of him than to keep him. Carson has no value. He'll probably never play football again. He had a neck injury as a power back. That stuff's serious, guys. That stuff no joke. Ain't no joke. Brian, no, I believe the best option off-season option is to blow it up, but that would be understandable too. Well, Barton's still on his rookie deal, honestly. So you may as well, but I'm not going to let one good game cloud the fact that he is just looks like just a special teamer for the most part. They have 3 ghosts, and they may be, yeah. Hertz is playing okay, but I don't think they believe in Hertz. Remember, Hertz got benched at one point this year for a Gardner Minshew. Defro, if Wilson comes back next year, he may very well restructure. That's not a factor. The only factor to me is is Wilson going to play like a top three quarterback going forward? I don't really care that much about the money. He's worth the money if he plays like a top three quarterback. He's not if he doesn't. Period. Was Jalen Hurts hurt that game? I don't know if I buy that. I kind of feel like they benched him. Yeah, good point, David. I think kickers are starting to learn how to do it a little bit better. Overall, I feel like I see more onside kick recoveries than I'm used to. I don't know, Addison. I think he's really drunk. Yes, he was Derpy Squid. How would I rebuild the defense in a 3-4? Well, you got to swap the corners out. You got to get man corners. That's the main priority there. You got to get a real nose tackle unless you think Poona Ford can do it, which could go either way. Oh, Shalvin, you can't call people a bust after 1 year unless they like shatter every bone in their body and retire. But there's no way we can call Eskridge a bust. He had the worst concussion in the history of concussions. Do you have any linemen you like in the draft? Um, I'm sure there are a few. I need to do more scouting to be sure, because at this point we don't really need a right tackle anymore because of the Curhan emergence, which is huge. If Curhan's the real deal, then we don't have to worry about right tackle. So I need to start looking at like centers. I'm going to start throwing myself into draft stuff as the offseason goes on. Remember, guys, this stuff works in phases. You have the opportunity to release players, you have the opportunity to get free agents, bring back free agents, and then you hit the draft. So you got to decide on that stuff first. There is a big part of me that kind of can't believe Pete Carroll is going to get away with making the Jamal Adams trade, having a season this awful, and then getting to keep his job. That should kind of be a fireable offense, right? Making the Jamal Adams trade and then having a bad season that involves giving away a top 10 pick for him. I feel like that alone should be like, get out of here. Touchdown Packers. No, I'm not Filipino. I don't look Filipino, I don't think. No, Jamal's great. I have no doubt Jamal's a great player. We don't use him right, and there are some other issues there. Even in coverage, he's good in coverage. His coverage numbers this year have been good. I'm not. It's not because Jamal's a bad player. That's not the problem. The problem is that you gave up what will now probably be like a top 8 pick for him. Well, I'm still going to be going like pretty much every day. Very rare that I'm not going to have anything to talk about, especially in an off season like this. Okay, so what, John Westover? Most games in the NFL are close. Most games in the NFL are close. You got to win close games. How do you assess our pass rush? It's pretty awful. What else can you say? It's bad. Yeah, Will. Doug, that's possible. Sign and trade with Diggs to get something out of him. Yeah, I don't mind that. I'll be right back, guys. Oh, Wendy Song, welcome to the membership club, Wendy. Thank you. Appreciate you. Welcome to the membership club. What are your thoughts on JC Jackson? I don't want him. I don't want to spend big money on a corner right now. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Be right back. Yeah. Yeah, Brooks doesn't need to be great in coverage once he moves to the middle. The problem is right now he's the will. And will linebackers have to cover more than middle linebackers. Yeah, exactly, Nugash. Safety's not an important position in the modern NFL, really. Is Pittsburgh eliminated, Jake? Pittsburgh's out? Yeah, LJ Collier's a bust. Another bad pick. Probably not chosen. Oh, thank you, Wendy Song. I appreciate your support. Yeah, Taylor made some plays. I want to keep DK, Koopis. I want to keep DK. I feel like DK is a lot of good stuff in front of him. I don't know about that, Addison. Bobby's one of the all-time greats, but I think Brooks will be good. Jordan, my question with Barton is, can he play outside? Because if his only good role in the NFL is at middle, then we've kind of already got that covered because of Brooks. Yeah, Shea Seahawks Raptor fan. I actually have a Super Bowl ticket on the Packers winning it all. Metcalf's probably going to get at least $20 million a year, maybe like 22, maybe up to 24. Number one off-season target. I guess I'd still say Armstead. Well, the question I have with Barton is, can he play outside? I feel like he can, but I don't know if he can. If that happens, that's great. But to me, right now, Brooks is more likely to Barton's more likely to be a backup middle linebacker. Maybe that works okay if you run a 3-4, but that's probably not what we're going to do right now. See you later, Julian. Vikings punting. Just trying to get this game over with. Maybe, Shalvin. I bet on the Packers and I bet on the Chiefs. I was a little worried that I wasn't betting on the Bucks, but the Bucks are losing some players the last few weeks, so maybe I'm going to be okay there. It's sounding like Wagner's going to be out a little while. Robert Henry, thank you for the 4.99. Here's to win versus sorry Lions, but want coaching change still. We beat a team really sorry. Oh yeah, this game should not change anyone's mind. If you wanted Wilson out before, you should still want Wilson out now. If you wanted Carroll out before, you should still want him out now. The things that should maybe change your perspective from this game should be things like Jake Curhan. Yeah, Titans are a decent bet, but Tannehill's really not playing that well this year. And they're going to need Tannehill to make some plays for them eventually. I was looking at Tannehill's numbers. They're not that good this year at all. I think Brooks played really well, Omar. I think he gave up a touchdown in coverage, but I think he played well. I'm happy with him. I'm not a big Derek Carr fan, the dude. Yeah, David, but how do we stop the Cardinals' offense? That offense is like tailor made to beat our defense. I don't know what we do against that offense. Curhan played tackle today, Robert, not guard. Curhan didn't play. Curhan didn't play a guard. He was right tackle like he always is. How are you feeling about Dunlap? I mean, it's cheap. You may as well bring him back. What candy were you eating? A few different candies. Yes, boomers, but I don't think Tampa Bay lets them get away. I mean, the thing is, Carr has no upside. He is what he is at this point. What he is not bad, but it's not that interesting to me. Man, the Packers are getting a ton of players back for the playoffs. Cobb, Bakhtiari, Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith. Yeah, this Packers team should probably make the playoffs. Make the Super Bowl, excuse me. Yeah, if you thought that X player and Y coach and Z front office guy needed to go before this game and you're changing your mind now, that's weird. Yeah, Daniel's correct. We are getting all the help we need to have gotten to the playoffs, and we didn't win games. If we had beaten the Bears and the Rams, two games that Wilson sold on, we probably would be in the playoffs right now. Bakhtiari had a setback? That's not good. Maybe, Robert, but you're playing with fire there. You're once again kind of trying to cheap out on the offensive line, and it hasn't worked well in the past. Yeah, Goldie Cups, but still, that doesn't give Wilson an excuse to fail to play well. Doug Peterson would be a good one. I guess it would be okay. I'm not crazy about it. I feel like Doug needs to prove himself again as an offensive coordinator before becoming a head coach. Yeah, I saw that ghost. Bottom line, does Russ stay or go? I still feel like he's going to go. That's the vibe I'm getting, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah, I saw that, Bill. It would not surprise me at all. I like Kellen Moore a lot, WRP Beast. I think he's good. We weren't going to beat the Saints that year, pretentious Cameron. No way. An offense like that would have shredded that defense, I think. Where do you think Russ going to? I have no idea, Mari. That I can't guess on. I would give Gerald Everett like 3 years, 20 million or something like that. 3 years, 21 million, 7 mil a year. Ooh, Jordan Love is in. The homie, Jordan Love. Seahawks, are you really, really drunk or are you on your phone and it keeps auto correcting? Yeah, although David, Everett's numbers at the end of this year are going to be pretty good. He's going to have around 500 yards. That's not bad at all, especially given that he missed 2 games and was playing with bum quarterbacks for almost half the year. I hope we sign one, Jordan M. We need somebody who we know is going to be good. Tyler Linderbaum's not going to fall past the top 20, I don't think. So you got to trade Wilson to have a shot. Everett's a good player. He's not a superstar. Well, the Berg show, then you're not actually a Seahawks fan, so who cares what you think about anything? Scratch, Scratchy Junior. I would do that. I don't think Everett's below average. He's better than that. I don't like this QB draft class, Amari Taylor. No, I don't, Goldie Cobb, but unfortunately, that looks like the way we're going. Unfortunately, that just looks like the way things are going. I don't like it, but I understand why we're here. It's not like Wilson is playing perfect football and he's just getting crucified by his evil head coach. Wilson has opened the door for this to be a possibility. Well, Disley has a very narrow a very narrow use case. Disley's mostly a blocker with decent hands. I think that's all he is at this point, and that's fine. But he's not better than a guy like Everett at actually involved in the passing game, being actually involved in the passing game. Yeah, I think DJ might have gotten hurt on the opening kickoff, but I know he was in the game after that for a little bit, so I don't think he was out. Yeah, I heard about that, Amari. Yeah, the defensive line dropping into coverage kills me. I hate it. But they're clearly not going to stop doing it. I don't get it. It never works ever. I mean, Benson Mayoa doesn't make that much money. Tygo, whatever. Dre Holt, there would be mostly pros and very few cons. The only problem would be is if the younger coach ends up sucking, but that could happen. Yeah, Zorn, I don't. I don't. I see a guy who's not going to age that well. Mayo has never been really good, but he's been playable. We can't trade Lockett, guys. Trading Lockett is so expensive, we can't even consider doing it. If we can sign Penny to 1 year, 2 million, would you do it? I guess. May as well. Not that much money. Can't be a terrible idea. You think Jody Allen is going to fire Pete John this offseason? Doesn't look that way right now. Austin Russell, that's impossible to guess. That's impossible for me to guess. Benjamin, I'm not calling people fake fans because they like Russ. I'm calling them fake fans because they say they're going to stop being fans if Russell Wilson leaves. Anybody who says something like that, like, they're admitting it, okay? Like, there's nothing to even have a debate on. They're telling on themselves. I don't know why this is even a discussion. It's like if I said I'm a Republican, but I believe in open borders and socialist ideals. No, I'm not a Republican. I just told on myself. If you're going to say I'm a fan of the team, but I'll stop being a fan of the team if they lose this player, then you're not a fan of the team. Period. I don't even know why this is controversial. They literally said it for themselves. Michael M., most games in the NFL are close. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, imagine if I were to say something like, I'm not going to be a fan of this team if they keep Carroll. Like, you think I'm happy that Carroll is still here? Of course I'm not happy. But I'm not going to stop rooting for this team. Believe me, if I could just stop rooting for this team, then I wouldn't care what they do, because as soon as they did something to upset me, I would just root for the Patriots or the Bengals or Chiefs or something. But I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Yeah, Daniel, I know who you're talking about. At the end of the day, if the team is able to start winning again, the fans will come back to the stadium and pay premium prices. That's how this works. With Russ, without Russ, people just want to win. Dre Holt, probably not. He's been doing this stuff for 4 decades. How's he suddenly going to go, oh, I'm going to do things differently now? Ghost, thank you for the $1.99. Wilson plays best in a system like today. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like today, we ran the ball for more yards than we threw the ball for. Right? Think about that. We ran the ball for more yards than we passed the ball. So if Wilson needs a system like that to succeed, then I can't have him making top three money. Okay? If he needs to be in a run first system where the run game dominates and he just has to make a few big plays a game, that to me is not top three money. I can't pay him that kind of money. I can pay him like 20 mil a year. I'm not going to pay him 35 million a year. So that's the thing I don't understand. Some people who are big Russ defenders, they say things like, you need to put Russell Wilson in a system where the running game is dominant and he doesn't have to do that much and he can be great. And it's like, okay, well, if he's not going to do that much, is he going to give some of that money back? Because I'll pay top three money to a guy who's carrying the team. I'm not going to do it for somebody who just rides the coattails of the running game. Like, I can get that with Ryan Tannehill. And Ryan Tannehill, he's making like what, 20 million a year? Yeah, Cheeseburger Man. He can play, man. I always knew that if you gave him a chance to use his vision, he could be good. He's got good vision, and he was using that vision really well over the last month, man. Yeah, that's how I feel, the dude. It's time to move on. That's how I feel. Dre Holt, it doesn't sound like he's interested in retiring. Okay, James Larson, but I can't pay him that much if he's not going to carry the team. I can't pay that amount of money for a guy who needs a run first offense. If you're a quarterback who needs a run first offense, I can get that for a lot cheaper. I can get that from Ryan Tannehill, is the thing. Yeah, I've never doubted Penny's talent. It's just Penny can't stay healthy. But I'm willing to bring him back for the right price for sure. Is Ryan Tannehill really making that much money? I thought he signed like a 6-year, $120 million deal. I thought he's making like 20 mil a year. Over the length of that contract, I think he's probably made about that much. And I usually don't talk about the Wilson money stuff, but I have to when it starts becoming like this. I have to talk about it a little bit when it turns into stuff like this. Think about it. Because in order to have those things, you need to give it does take money. Now granted, it could also take better drafting. This team has not done a great job using their picks. It does take better expenditures of resources. We have not done a great job spending the money that we've had. But I just that bothers me. Stanio, welcome to the membership club, buddy. Welcome to the elite membership club. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you on board. The Chiefs did not have a good run game when they won the Super Bowl, and the Bucks did not have a good run game last year. I don't know about this year, but Chiefs won the Super Bowl 2 years ago without a single guy rushing for over 500 yards all season, and the Bucks did it without anybody rushing for 1,000. So, Cheeseburger Man, this year's a punt for this year is a punt for Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, he's on an atrocious team. He doesn't even have his best receiver. Yes, Jordan M. I will. Possibly the dude, but what does back mean? Does back mean back in the playoffs? Does back mean back in the playoffs, or does it mean back in the Super Bowl? Because playoffs are nice, but I want to get back to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I guess AB was even nuttier than I thought, man. Ghost, it seems like it. Seems like it. But that's the kind of stuff we can't really know about. That's the kind of stuff we don't have access to. We can only guess. As Smoking Sunny D, we need to do better than that. No, I don't think it's crazy pretentious, Cameron, but would he go there? I don't think he would go there unless he had to. Uh, I don't know. Mike Zimmer to me is very similar to Pete Carroll. You're probably right, Addison, but I wouldn't hate doing that. DJ Reed on the market this offseason. I think he's going to get like 8 mil a year. Yeah, exactly. None of your BZ. Being that elite quarterback means making the players around you better. Like, look at Aaron Rodgers. He's got Devontae Adams, but who else does he have? He has a bunch of randos, and he makes it work with them. Okay, Brady today, he's got no Chris Godwin, he's got no AB, and he still makes it work with guys that we're not very familiar with as NFL fans. Guys who don't have that much experience, guys who don't have those credentials. Thank you, the dude. Like, part of that is making the players around you better. I think that Russ has done that. Russ has definitely done that in the past. He made guys like David Moore better. He made guys like maybe Paul Richardson better. Paul Richardson didn't do anything outside of Seattle. But is he doing that now? I'm not sure. Tracy, who cares about where they were drafted? Doug Baldwin was a superstar for like 2 years. I mean, Doug Baldwin, that dude could get open like nobody else in the league except for AB for a couple, granted for only a couple years, but do not besmirch Doug Baldwin. That dude was incredible for a minute. No, Russell's not making Penny better. Jay Curhan is making Penny better. Russell Wilson did not make Disley, for one. Disley has not produced that much as a tight end in the NFL. He definitely didn't make Metcalf. That dude's a freak. Yeah, Curse is another good one. Like, Curse was not that good, and Wilson made him look better than he was. So, can he do that now? I don't know. Maybe you could say a little bit with Freddie Swain, but all Freddie Swain does is catch busted coverage plays. Yeah, Sidney Rice was a Pro Bowler in Minnesota and then came here and didn't really do all that much. The dude, thank you for the $3. Nice talking. I hope you guys work it out. I hope you guys too. I'm ready for the Raiders to be good again, man. It's been a minute. My parents grew up Raiders fans because when they were alive, there were no Seahawks. Kirsch did make some clutch catches. Yes, he did, but he was not a great player by any stretch. Pretentious Cameron, maybe the injuries just caught up to him. Ghost, thank you for the $1.99. Wilson was the last person signing autographs. I mean, he already said he's aware of the possibility that he's done. He's aware of the possibility. Even if it doesn't happen, he's aware of the chance. Are you and Hawks Nest going to do a Mariners stream? Possibly. I think Penny in Dallas is a nice 1-2 punch. Do you agree? Got to do a little better. But Rasheem Green's a free agent, Daniel. You can't put him in a trade. Swain is definitely not a good third receiver. Swain is like a passable fourth receiver. Swain sucks. All he does is catch busted coverages. If Swain is a good number 3 receiver, then he has a funny way of showing it. Yeah, Penny's probably going to get extended, but it's not going to be big money, so it's fine. Yeah, Freddie Swain is like the definition of a jag. Yeah, I heard about David Moore being on the Packers. What do you mean, poor guy? He might get a ring, Jackson. David Moore might get a ring this year. Jordan M, I'm pretty in on that, yeah. I only saw Penny Hart get thrown at once today, but it's possible that he got thrown out once or twice other times. Pretentious Cameron, Baldwin won't come here to coach as long as Wilson's here. They don't like each other. Which is weird, right? Like, I get Cam and Sherman and Earl not liking Wilson. I totally get that. But why does Doug Baldwin not like Wilson? Like, before Baldwin hooked up with Wilson, nobody thought Baldwin was going to be anything in the NFL. He was just a dude that Jim Harbaugh liked to beat on. And then Wilson turned him into one of the best receivers in the league for 2 years. I don't get that one at all. Cheeseburger Man, we were talking about this at last week. Apparently, there was a thing a few years ago where Wilson was in the Pro Bowl and he overthrew a receiver really badly, and Doug Baldwin tweeted out, "That's the Wilson I know," and then immediately deleted it. Yeah, pretentious Cameron, he was good, but he was just another like semi-productive receiver. Baldwin didn't become like a Pro Bowl level player until those couple years at the end. Well, probably not Daniel because he got hurt. Baldwin's career was shortened by that injury, so I don't think that's the case. Yeah, that's why it's really getting hard for me to ignore all the people who say Wilson is an asshole behind the scenes, right? Like I kind of ignored it when Sherman did it because Sherman was a bitter mofo, but now we keep hearing it from a bunch of different people. I'm starting to think like, well, I'm hearing it from Earl. I hear it from Sherman. I hear it from Bennett. I hear it from Baldwin. I hear it. I mean, I guess we don't really hear it from Greg Olson. We hear more anti-Pete stuff. Akib Talib's commentary is interesting. Yeah, pretentious Cameron. I remember that. Like, I don't know. It's getting harder to ignore. The more players who come out and say stuff like that, the harder it is for me to ignore it. I ignored it when it was Sherman because Sherman was bitter, but I hear it from more players and I'm like, well, maybe they know what's up here. I don't know. Yeah, Norton will probably be retained because the defense had good rankings this year. Sad to say. Now, these last 2 weeks have not been great. They've been hurting the ranking, but it's still going to be a top 10. It's still going to be a top 10 defense in points. Well, I mean, the Lions are kind of using fourth string receivers, Amir. What do they have at receiver other than Amon-Ra St. Brown? Yeah, Jackson. What I think is wrong with the QBs in the draft class, I don't know if there's anything wrong with them. I just don't think any of them are like blue chippers. Yeah, yeah, Herman. I mean, we knew some of it was real, right? We knew Sherman had problems at the end. Well, the 30 for 30 about the Pete Carroll Seahawks is going to be fascinating whenever this whole thing is over, right? Do you think we will draft another corner this year? Probably at some point. All right, guys, we've been going for almost an hour and a half. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it here. Game's over. Uh, Today was a good win, but honestly, it's not super compelling right now, right? Like, we won a game that we should win against a really terrible team, but it's not going to mean anything because we lost too many games earlier. But hey, we won. I'm happy about it. We saw a lot of good things, a lot of positive things. Really still sad that Bobby Wagner might go out like this. Really, really disappointed that Wagner might go out like this, but that's football. Okay, so I'm probably going to do some Dead by Daylight after the stream. Give me a little bit, and I will do some DBD. What happened to Bobby? Bobby got hurt. We don't know how bad it is yet, but I don't think he's going to play next week. And if he doesn't play next week, then that's probably it. I'm surprised you didn't know, Cheeseburger Man. It happened on the first play. Yes, Addison, with snacks. Don't know exactly when we'll start, but we will start. Just give me a little bit of time here, and I will hop on. Yeah, Bobby, if Bobby did indeed have a serious injury, which is possible, then he needs to be done. Like, at that point, he should just retire. He's made his money. He's had a great career. Why come back and get hurt again when that's probably all that's going to happen? All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit here. Dead by Daylight for the rest of the night in all likelihood. Have a good rest of your night, everybody.